Good evening, good evening, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, all. Good morning if you're in some other part of the country or other part of the world. Uh,
Good times, by the way, I guess, right?
yeah, I'm still getting over some sickness and disease, so I have a fan on me because I have these weird hot flashes. And
PMSing a little bit there.
no, I think I have the flu or something because I go in between like profusely sweating and being extremely hot to then shiveringly cold. And that's in Florida summer weather, right? Like so like how
Mhm.
the fuck am I supposed to be shivering in this weather? It's like 25 C at night.
You know what though? Weirdly, when I was in Florida, like I was very cold in the shower for some reason, but they had AC in the shower, so it was completely like I don't know why would you put that there, but I
Yeah,
understand.
we also have AC in the shower, which is kind of counterintuitive, but it does dry out the room quite quickly.
Yeah, but you get out there, it's like fucking winter coat, man. I'm moving out of Canada for a reason, not to get your freaking pneumonia after getting out of a shower here.
Maybe that's why the old men are also hairy here. It's the AC in the
Insulates.
shower.
It's the insulator.
Anyway, go buy something at Skinny Play. You use the promo code for 10% off. Uh, this is not scientifically proven, but if you buy something there, you won't get gross back hair because you'll have something cool for in your speaker.
You totally just like roboted on me, or I would have probably roboted on you. Something went weird with my internet.
Maybe I
Shit,
dropped a bit.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's because
Anyway,
Greg typed in COVID in the chat, and then it screwed us all up. Now you infected
yeah, it's
it.
I would just call it a biovirus. Maybe I haven't bought something in long enough, and that's why I'm feeling a bit weird.
Maybe that Mozart is getting on you.
Yeah. Well, he did write some
Oh,
interesting stuff, right, when he had the flu.
fair enough.
Come join the Discord. We're also on the purple side if you care for that, and that's about it. How has your
That's
week been?
very uneventful work-wise, but I had landed a new lease on an apartment, so I'll be moving out of here in October, or at the end of September. I'll be out of this place.
Oh, sweet. So you have
It's just
space
it
for
doesn't make
90s
sense.
again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm honestly playing against the fucking Murphy's Law because you know how that happens, right? As soon as I unpack the 90s and settle in that place, I'm gonna get my visas within 3 months of it.
Of course.
So I'm doing it,
You
and
might as well if that's the jinx, right?
if that's the jinx, fuck it. I will break my back one more time and roll these speakers out of the boxes. Set them up. It's a gorgeous apartment, by the way. I haven't taken any pictures, but once I move in there, you'll see. Everybody will see. It's exactly the apartment that I was looking for around the 90s
You
to
kicked
make sure
Stefan
that they
out?
have. No, no, no. I'm moving away from downtown. It just makes no sense to live here anymore. Going with the traffic or against the traffic.
Yeah, the
Like it was a
chicken shop at night is only useful every so often.
that too, but it's if you think about it, like I moved down here because of the Stogies cigar lounge, right? Which I was frequenting before I gotten into the relationship, and then it just kind of what the fuck's the point of me living here paying 2 grand for well, it's $2,400 because I'm paying $400 for the storage, right?
Yeah.
And I'm paying 2 grand for an apartment that is fully furnished, even though I have furniture. And I didn't expect to sit here for that long, obviously. So it is what it is. But yeah, the 90s are gonna come out. I don't know if I'm gonna put the shape up, but there is also a pondering about that to put the shape as the because the wall where it is, I could put two wireless receivers into it and build the shape as a stereo speaker system
Mm-hmm.
as the rear backs, and then the 18s would be the surrounds, and obviously fronts would be the Canons plus the theater. And yeah, then the one spare bedroom, I guess, would be the storage where everything, all the Lego and crap, would go into.
Oh, you know
And
what
then
you
I have a
could do? You
bedroom.
could make the perfect golden triangle with 90s.
Yeah, put the 90s in the rear. Yeah, that is the most ass retarded. No, no way, bro. No way. The 90s are gonna be a focal point. and I'm still debating because the floors are oak, and I'm not gonna match the grills. I'm still debating to buy the wooden walnut lamellas or walnut panels for the 90s,
Yeah, do it. Why
or
not?
maybe I'll just toss the smoked oak. I have two sets. I have the oak and smoked oak, and because they didn't have the walnut at the time, right? So now I'm gonna have three pairs of panels for one set of speakers. Kind of makes no sense.
Surely you can
Maybe if
sell
we,
some.
yeah, I know I could probably sling one pair to a client that has his lamellas are fucked. So or
Yeah.
panels, I guess. So that would be one thing. But hello to Dubai, coffee connoisseur. I'm still waiting for your email, bro. You got one more week to come out there. But yeah, yeah, you're using the Lucas says, or it's Lucas HD says that he's using the Shape speakers as front and rear surrounds. They sound great. Yeah, for me, those speakers wouldn't really do that much work, quite honestly, because they would be just rears, and I don't think. Oh well, I'd never gotten it. I'll check my spam. But yeah, with the 90s, bro, they're not gonna do much. Even with the bass redirection and anything else, there's no way that they're gonna make much difference other than for spacious, I guess. Let's go spam. Let's see. I don't see it anywhere. Anywho, so yeah, that's the scoop as far as what my plans are. Oh, here, I got you. No, report not a spam. What the fuck, man? Why did it put you in the bin? I got you, bro.
Did he ask for your PIN code?
Something here. All right, I got you. Right on. Yeah, we'll chat later. Thanks, buddy. My apologies, but yeah, I checked the spam. I didn't really see it there, and obviously I didn't look hard enough. So there we go. Le contact established. And yeah. Oh, by the way, it's weird that I found out if you play the theater in a golden triangle with the direct mode,
Yeah.
it doesn't turn off the 18s and the sub. It just redirects the bass into them. That's what I found out. It's they still play, but completely they don't go over 80 hertz because you can't hear the vocals. Ain't that weird?
Yeah, because you would almost assume they're off, right, in direct mode, and
Well,
if
they
they have no
should be off.
allocation.
They should be off, but if they're allocated in the speaker preset, then they are still utilized for bass redirection. So how direct is the direct mode then, Tabarnak? I don't think it is that direct. I think that there's still some special sausage going on in the background of the theater, diverting the bass back and forth into different speakers. So that was the only finding that I had come across this week, messing about with my system. I didn't really do much else, honestly. I fixed my backup camera in my Audi. That was an accomplishment. My eyes are not bad enough to still do the micro coax connectors. I'm proud of myself. But other than that, yeah, I don't. There's not much news. Everything is slow. Like we're closed. B&O's closed more or less. There's
Vacation
tumbleweeds all
time.
around. Yeah, it's vacation time all around. I agree. Apparently, there's an article now. Christian emailed me, and I don't know how the fuck to delete stuff off of Discord. Or
Oh, I can
is
do that
there?
for you.
But is there really a point, or should we just keep all the other revisions there? Because there's a revision, I guess, 4.3 now. I guess it's called because it was 4.1 for the first. I don't know where the other four thing came from to the decimals. But in the Discord, the first one that I've posted has been amended by the second one, and the second one has now been amended by the third one. And the third one is missing the page of the direct mode setup uh, in that whole, I guess the scenarios thing. So I don't know. I kind of feel like we should just keep them all in the file and let the people, you know, have more open news, like not like CNN when they do silent edits and the story you read is 2 weeks later. It's completely different. I swear to God, I saw it was written there, but no, it's not. So I don't want to edit stuff and delete shit that some people may find still relevant.
Look, unless B&O wants it deleted, I'm perfectly happy to keep it up because I kind of like to see the progress.
Mm.
I mean, it also kind of shows that stuff is happening somewhere.
Yes. Somebody's still playing with it. I don't know
I mean,
if it's Jeff
it's
or
like
his
it's not
minions.
like they haven't touched it in the last few months, let's say, because like surely something happened if you changed the manual.
Yes.
I mean, for everybody that has a theater, by the way, I was talking to somebody, and essentially that whole thing where True Image put the voices in the upfiring channels,
Mm-hmm.
that is, uh,
A bug.
yeah, but it's supposedly sort of fixed, and if you still have it, it's because you have an old room compensation. So you have to rerun that.
Well, thanks for fucking telling us what software
You're
version
welcome.
from. So from what software version that has happened?
That
Or
I don't
when
know.
did that occur? Okay.
The current version should have it correctly, though.
Fuck, when did I do my... Well, then mine should be running correctly because I have my room comp redone 2 weeks ago. And there's
Yeah.
been no software update since.
No, but I think from we're talking, if you have, like most of us probably haven't done it in the last 6 months plus,
Well,
right?
I have clients that we haven't done it since the first freaking time it's been done.
Yeah,
Right?
so it's probably, if you haven't done it in, let's say, 6, 9 plus months, it's probably a good idea to redo it.
Regardless, I would agree that it's a good idea because the drivers now are broken in. The sound is a little bit different, I think. There's more flex in the bass drivers, and if you rerun the comp, it'll probably, not probably, most likely, it'll adjust it to be sounding better than it is. And
Yeah.
if there were silent software corrections in the algorithm for how the True Image works with the high channels at the front of the theater, then it's definitely worth doing.
I always put it down to me not really having that issue because I had 17s there, right? Which is like a full fat speaker. So I never
Yeah.
really noticed it instead of like these tiny ass drivers.
Well, yeah, you're not fabricating anything out of it. You have an actual channel allocated for it proper.
So, I mean, I still have to do it,
Mm.
but I just haven't had the time. Plus, in the last 72 hours, I probably spent something like 40 of it in bed.
Oh, you were that well, hey?
Yeah.
Fudge.
Like, it was unpleasant.
Oh, I guess another news that I have, just before the podcast started, I came back from with my girlfriend. She picked up a new cat. Well, new cat. She just picked up a cat, a kitty. So apparently now I'm a stepdad, fucking, to a cat.
Yay!
Oh God. And yeah, apparently the kitty likes the curtains, which already makes it a write-off for her to bring it over. And if she's gonna start crawling up my 90s, bro, that cat will grow. It is gonna grow wings. I swear to God.
What you do is get it a scratch pole.
We did. I put one up yesterday. We got all that built. But I'm talking my place. If she comes over with the cat, I'm not gonna buy a scratch post. Like this weird single guy that has a scratch post.
Just tell people like it's for me at night.
Yeah, it's exactly. I sleepwalk. So
No, what you do is you teach it, right? As soon as it tries to go up, you literally take the paws off and put it on the scratch post, and then it'll figure out that that's the way to do it.
yeah,
Like
that's
our
why I love
cats don't
dogs.
go up that sort of shit at all because we taught
Yeah,
them.
but they sleep on your theater, turning on fucking my buttons like that.
No, it happens on occasion, but especially when there's fucking birds in like a movie or something.
Oh, they jump up on a thing.
Yeah, because it's like, ooh, real birds? Where?
Should put those, like, those spikes that they have on the edges of the roof for pigeons not to come in. Put them on top of your theater.
It's kind of a punk rock theater then.
Oh boy. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to move everything. which also is a logistical problem. How do I all do it, right? I'm thinking I'll just pack up everything that I have here and take it into the storage locker, and then have the entire storage locker moved because it's in a pods container, right? Have it moved there, and I'll hire a couple movers to bring all the shit upstairs because I don't need them to unpack everything. Because if they're gonna try and unpack anything, it's gonna be weeks because everything is sealed, bro. Like sealed.
Pros will
So
unpack it in like 2 days.
yeah, but I don't need them to unpack all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put the pallets in and get the fuck out of my house, man. I'll do the rest myself.
I mean, I'm always amazed by like these pro mover guys, how quickly they do their job. It's probably because you're in a sense used to it, right? But like,
Well, it's your day to day. It's the same thing. Like if we go into somewhere and pull a cable through a wall into a somewhere where like, well, how the fuck did you do that? Right. But that's our trade. Like I know, not that I have a Superman's X-ray vision, but I know how structures go together and where is the likelihood of, going through things. Sometimes, you pull a pot light out. I have a camera that I can just stick in there and see if there's anything. And yeah, you can make miracles to other people that are not trained in that. Right.
yeah.
I guess it's the same for any trade. But there's bad movers and good movers. You know what I mean? There's people that I wouldn't let them, push a garbage bin out the fucking back door, let alone like moving my stuff in. So, but
Congratulations, Chris Jansen.
but yeah, it's for me. And another thing is that I can finally re-inventory everything that I have in there and answer some mysteries. Like, where is my Lego bulldozer? Where are my BeoLab 4s, my BeoSound 2, and a moment? Because I can't find those in the boxes. So I think I'm gonna pull out the moment just for the sake of nostalgia. Put it in the kitchen.
Because of the shittiness of the app, it's still the most rock solid app running thing I have for some reason.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It shouldn't be like this.
It's a shame that they've abandoned the bloody thing, but I really like the moment for what it was worth back in the day. And still, like if that circle thing worked and they just integrated it into a newer way of doing things, I still think it would be a valid product if you tied in title into it for an interface. I think that it could still be a very valid product, but they underpowered the hardware in it,
Yeah.
which struggled. They used basic cheap ass run of the mill screen for it, which got discontinued. Then that's hence why the product gotten discontinued.
Well, it's an Asus tablet essentially in a nice surround fitting.
Yes. So there is a couple things that, if they planned it differently hardware wise, I still think that would be a very, very viable product to have in portfolio.
iPads of that era still work fine.
Right?
They can't be updated, but they work fine.
Dude, I have an iPad here from 2011
Yeah.
that we used to use on the wall as a BeoLiving or BeoLink gateway, Masterlink gateway back then. And it still works to this day. Like the battery hasn't swollen up on it. It works very, very well. I don't really use it much because obviously like some of the apps are no longer compatible. But if you just had your BeoLiving on it, then who cares how old the iPad is if the thing works. Which brings me to another thing that I'm going to unpack my BeoLiving Intelligence as well. I'm going to try to do something there. I don't know if I'm going to go as far as putting the dimmers and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know about that because that's a little more committed. But I'm very hell bent on just treating at least the bathroom, man. There needs to be fucking motion sensors in there, dude. I can't deal with this manual nonsense.
In the forum part of the Discord, DJ Neo and K Solid are working on creating a new bootloader for a moment, so they could potentially fix dead moments.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Which is interesting. So
I'd be down to trial it.
Yeah, I mean they're getting somewhere, I think, and it's a bit over my head, but it's right there if you want to have a look at it.
Okay.
I mean, also I'm coughing and I'm still sick.
But is it all like Latin moment, Latin in code, more or less? Is that
No,
what we're
they
talking about?
talk in normal human speak, right?
Okay, cool.
Uh, but I'm sure you'll fire up their senses if a bit more people show an interest into it.
I'm definitely interested. I'm
Uh,
definitely interested. Even if it breaks the moment, it's already can be more useless than it is.
yeah. Erwin says,
So
I saw a clip in which Loa claims they're the first that can change things with an LG OLED panel. Uh, I'm not so sure that is fully true.
that what Loa can or
Change just the OLED panel without all the backing and stuff.
how would you do that? But all the boards are mounted on the back of the panel itself.
I mean, take all the
The,
boards off and
well, you move the boards, yeah, but they're all part of the substrate. There is no like unless they develop something, they just have ribbon cables and they mounted everything on the back of the chassis, and the ribbon cables go just directly into the panel and power. Then I can see that, but other than that, you just move the same thing. Like I've replaced the first gen Eclipse screen with a B&O center or LG, I guess, whoever sent the panel replacement. It was a bare screen, no boards on it, man. You had to move all the boards from the existing panel into the new one.
yeah. So essentially,
So,
B&O can do that too for Mark 1 Eclipses.
mhm.
Just have to hope the boards aren't dead, right?
Yeah, there's the H100, the cat's out of the bag on them, more or less, coffee connoisseur. But we don't know. Well, obviously, the release date would be, in my opinion, in the name since their 100th anniversary.
One
But
would think.
maybe they're got something better to come up other than headphones, because I don't believe that that's the best thing that you can come up with for your 100th anniversary as a speaker company, to come up with a pair of goofy ass headphones. I don't give a
Maybe
shit if they're
they
twenty
are
five hundred
not done
dollars or whatever.
memeing on us. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I hope that that's not it, and I hope that the BeoLab 5 Classic is not going to be the 100th anniversary present for all of us, because that's not really that creative. But I smell something with the Lab 5s in the near future to be cooking for sure.
yeah.
I
Eh,
wonder what they're going to use for an audio master, which would be interesting if they actually introduced a new audio master for the 100th anniversary, and then put the Lab 5Cs with it as a whatever. But I guess then
a
how do you
moment
not
see?
call this? I don't think you can do the
A
moment.
comment?
A comment. Beosound comment.
I mean, I will say, I won't say much, but the H100s are supposed to be really, really special. As in, like, they're supposed to make the H95 sort of middle of the roads. And
I don't know.
the price should reflect that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with my what is it? The HXs that are the little bloop, and they sound great. Apparently, they're very good on the phone quality, better than the portals I've heard. I was talking to my buddy Nathan on. I had a cigar over the phone, and I use the EXs because they're for some reason are not usable with the bloody Windows Bluetooth nonsense, but they work 100% on my phone, and they sound really really good, really good. And I think the noise cancellation, maybe because of their in-ear design, is better than the portals. But portals have a gift of Dolby Atmos for the license and for the games. That's where they shine, honestly. And I've played games with the portals on them. It is a fucking experience and a half, man. You juice it up a little bit, you make sure the app is running, your Dolby's going, and it's very, very weird how perfect they can get it, especially the and all the aspects of the 360 sound on all axes. It's really, really good. But
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's where the buck stops, I guess. And plus, for me, I just use them as a podcast headphones now. But that's that's it.
So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a duality in crowds, right? The headphone people versus the non-headphone people, and there is some overlap, I guess.
Mm.
Um, Personally, like you, I like headphones good enough, but not to the point where like I'm that into them. I like them if they sound good, right? That sort of thing, and I can discern which ones are better for sure. But I mean,
Do you also would
especially
chalk it
now
up
in
to the
Florida,
age?
right? Like I have a fan on me. I live in AC country. I'm hot.
And it's still sweaty. So,
Yeah.
but would you also chalk it up to the age also difference or age gap per se? Because like I remember me when I was in not just my teens but early 20s, and like I was always, these headphones, those headphones, because you're always on the move. You're out of the house. You're fucking doing things with your friends. And if it depends if you're doing a lot of
Mm,
traveling, like I guess as a public transit, then your headphones are a necessity. But for me, the necessity for headphones really died off once I had bought the vehicle,
no,
because now that music was in my car, so I no longer cared.
Max H, our buddy that used to come on Mondays and stuff, right? Like
Yes.
he has 90s and he had 50s as rear speaks, but he's still into his high-end headphones.
Hmm.
I think it's just an interest thing, and whether you're accustomed to it, it's another. It's an easier way of getting into high-end something, right?
Hmm.
And I personally am I like high end audio and that sort of thing, but I can't be arsed to sit down that long for things like that. But if you are into music and you don't want to disturb the entire fucking neighborhood like you can with 90s,
Oh yeah.
headphones
Oh,
are a very good option.
yes. But I don't know. Even at lower listening volumes, because we all know me. Uh, I still prefer the headphones, and quite headphones. I mean speakers, and with the '90s, it's really hard not to prefer them. To be honest, I just they sound better in every aspect of the word. Some people may argue that, of course, because it's not as precise because you have channel separation perfect because there's no cross mixing right from the left to the right ear and blah blah blah, as in physics would have it in a normal listening space. But I still prefer that. uh, I still prefer the headphone, I mean the speaker over the headphone sound. And
uh, yeah,
like I
personally,
said,
yes, but I'm also I use my speakers much more for films than for audio necessarily.
I think that's going to shift for me again once I move back and move out with the or move in with the '90s, because I'm going to go back to 90% of music listening and utilizing the speakers, and then every now and then watch a movie on it, because that's how I.
Yeah, like Max says, for listening, they take room acoustics out. Like that's very completely true, right? Like,
Yes, of course they do. Well, it doesn't matter where you are as long as it's not too noisy outside of you. Then yeah, it's you have the constant. Yes, that's definitely it. But I don't know. I've grown past the era where the headphones were cool for me. So
well, it's not necessarily that headphones are cool, but it's how they put the noise to you, right, or the sound.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's your lifestyle or how you go about doing things. Like I listen to music. Like that's not it, right? But I'm not sitting in one place. I'm not. It's more
Mm.
like tunes and vibes than like I must have accuracy.
Yeah, for me, well, when I was living in Calgary, for me, it was the '90s were a primary speaker, but they always played in the wide mode. Like, there's every now and then when you sit down with the bottle of wine or a glass of bourbon or something, and actually go through a bunch of discs or from the 9000, or listen to a whole bunch of music through Deezer, right, back in the day. So now it's I'm still gonna do it, and I'm gonna tie in a link eye into the bloody '90s so I can listen to the CDs uninterrupted.
And Yeah,
with
another thing Flores is sort of hinting at, I believe the cool factor of headphones is coming back. Here in NL in Amsterdam, see around 10 to 15 people with headphones. Also,
mm,
some H95, surprisingly, every now and then. Another thing is places like Amsterdam, right? You don't have the fucking space for proper speakers. And
no, you
your
don't.
half of the houses are old and creaky, and you have shit room acoustics, no matter what you do.
Hmm.
Like I have a friend, she has an apartment in Amsterdam. I bet, like I'm not joking when I'm saying like the ceiling is roughly here when I stand.
Hmm.
Like it's low, right? Like it's like a 7 foot ceiling, and when I move around, like you literally feel everything move and shake and do, and it's like there's no way you can treat anything within a reasonable uh, frame to still live with that you can use that as an audio space. And headphones will make anything an audio space.
Of course. Ed Wortham has a burning question. I have a 12 tile Beosound Shape with 6 speakers wanting to upgrade to a 23 tiles. The configurator suggests 2 additional speakers, and I agree. However, just adding 1 additional tile. Where did this go? The configurator suggests 2 additional speakers for a total of 10. Why 2 more speakers for just 1 more tile? Because it doesn't do odd numbers in the configurator. It does even numbers. So if you add another extra with and it comes to odd number, essentially what it suggests that you take one of the blank tiles and replace it with the speaker tile, so you have a proper channel allocation and output to all 3 or 4 amplifiers, I guess, or 5 amps, I guess, if you got 10 speakers. No, 10 speakers is 3 amps.
Yeah. And the second
10
one is
speakers
half
is 3 amp,
full.
and the second one is half full.
Or third, sorry.
So
The third is half full.
hmm
Because it's 4 speakers per amp.
it's 4 per amp, yes. So if you go into 23 tiles, is there a reason why there's 23 tiles? Because to me that's just kind of a weird number, but maybe that's how the design works. So I wouldn't know if I didn't see the shape of the design. But yeah, it's really
Maybe he's
up to you
doing a
how many
Henrik and
speakers.
like the 24th just doesn't fit.
Doesn't fit. Gotta go 23, man. But you don't have to add speakers. You can just add the tiles. Depends on, if you want to expand on your acoustics on the shape. I would personally, my mantra is that if I'm going with 1 amp, or if I'm gonna go with 2 amps, I'm gonna load it up with 8 speakers. I don't think there's a point to go, like I've seen some places where they sell 2 amps and each amp has 2 speakers connected to it. That's fucked up. Seen that
What?
before. Yeah, seen that before. That's, in my opinion, somewhat of a bad salesmanship. But you just do it.
Yeah, or money gouging.
Yeah, just max it out, man. Max out the fucking thing. If you got 8, keep 8. If you're gonna go to 10, then just I would honestly bite the bullet and go 12, because that's where it adds. Not that it adds up, but I think that's where it becomes much more recognizable as far as the sound quality is. If you juice up, a lot more. So that would be my suggestion. If you're expanding into that size of 23 tiles, I would load up a lot more speakers to it. Yes, it's expensive because the fucking speakers are double the price to what they were when they first came out. So I'm sure that I don't know if you've looked into the pricing of the shape yet, but if you bought it as me as a first adopter back in yesteryears of when it was cool but very under advertised, which it still is, you would be surprised how much it's basically doubled in price for what it's worth now. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I would go, if I'm gonna go 3 amps, I would squeeze out for another 4 additional speakers. You won't regret it.
Both speakers are really nice in the shape.
Oh yeah, we have a 12 tile speaker shape in the shop, I
I mean,
think, and
something that
from what I remember.
I think the shape especially does with more speakers, right, is that in particular it gets better at lower volume.
The what, sorry?
when you have more speakers in a shape, in particular, it gets better at lower volume.
Yes. And also the band on the wall gets more accurate
Yeah.
the more speakers you
I
get in there.
mean, like, yes, it gets better when you play loud, right? Because there's just more loud. But, like, in particular, it gets better when you're not doing loud. It's just
Yes.
a better power balance.
And if you're running the old ass core on it, then you can still, I would tie in a BeoLab 19 to it, and that changes the animal completely. Completely. The sound is much better. Flores is asking if there's any BeoLab 8 update before the price increase. I don't know what you mean by that. There's been no updates on anything really. Another question is the Beosound Explorer Ferrari edition sold out. I don't know if they're sold out, but I know that we have about maybe 5 or 6 still in stock. So if you want, contact the Quebec Sound store on August 6th is when they are back in business, or we are all back in business. I'll be back at work on August 5. But yeah, if you want, yeah, just ask Kareem, call and ask, and yeah, we can ship you one out if you are itching for a Ferrari Explorer. Oh,
Oh,
as far as I did I order the pair? No, I am honestly the thought process completely has changed since I had signed a lease for a new apartment. I am going to abandon mission. I don't really need the 8s. I'll put the 18s where they were and put the 90s up, and that's it. So yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I still am debating the 8s, maybe into the bedroom, but then I still have a level that is in the box that I won't need, and I'm not gonna do too much in the bedroom anyways. As far as the music listening is, I don't really want to put 72 holes into the fucking wall to put the shape on. All the 12 tiles is 12 tiles, and yeah, I still don't know how that. Once I organize myself in the new apartment, I'll see. But I really don't think that I'm going to go with the 8s at this point of time. No need. So maybe later.
I would love to buy some more B&O stuff, but like,
Where are you going to put it, first of all?
well, not, I'll find the place, but like at this point, I'm still so fed up with this fucking app. Like,
Mm,
if it takes so long for the app to be fixed, for it to be out of my price range, then it's on you and you just lost a customer. Then I'll just buy some secondhand stuff, right?
some dumb stuff, more or less.
Yeah, like I still have a set of Lab 1s with you, but I mean, I can get another 12 threes or something.
Retrofit some Mozart in it, bro.
All that, like, I don't want to be like, I know it sounds a bit harsh, but I don't want to like sort of say, well done, good job, here, have some money of mine, when it's kind of not really worth it. And it's mostly the user interface, that shit, right? Like, I wouldn't mind having some 8s behind me, but like, okay, will they work? Won't they? Can I actually use the app, or can I just, who knows, maybe Deezer doesn't work and then it's just go get some Tidal, and it's like, I don't want fucking Tidal.
For me, the biggest problem I have with that whole thing, stereo pairing is still a risky business. I don't know what world they are living in that they have it working flawlessly. I don't have that experience. I always have people calling me because they don't even call the store. And usually when this shit happens, it's Friday at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So for people that buy Lab 8s and I'm doing the installs, I give them my personal number and just call me. Fuck, like usually it's just a power cycle. It's a matter of power cycle. The problem is that if the goddamn speakers are mounted on the wall, then the power cycle becomes a hassle, right? Unless you clearly label the breakers that they're on. Hopefully they're not on the same breakers as the kitchen, and you fuck up the microwave time and everything else, right? That you got to go around resetting because you had to power cycle the speakers. But to me, there's two things that are still a very, very big burning issue for me when it comes to the Mozart platform stereo paired smart speakers. Figure it out, for fuck's sakes. Figure it out with the bloody stereo pairing proper, because we have an issue in our shop where the Lab 8s are hardwired one to the other, and they are hardwired into the switch. How is that possible that we still lose the daisy chain speakers? So there's something inside the BeoLab 8 that is having issues that brings the network to the other speaker. I don't know what the problem is, but there's always something that there you have that stupid red exclamation mark dot right on the sitting there, and then it just kind of magically disappears and they come on. So that's one thing. And second, what has to happen, it has got to happen. If you have them in the power link mode, turn off the fucking AirPlay capabilities to the speaker. Hide them in the app. Make them completely invisible. That's what has to happen. Because it's more than confusing, and it doesn't matter how many times I've explained this to people, or don't use that when you use that, because the logic behind this is completely nonsensical, because you can't use the speakers when they're in power link mode. So you have to turn off the TV to use the speakers in stereo pair. So why not just stream into the core and stereo and that shuts down the TV anyways, and you have power link going on, and those speakers should be completely off the app. They should be in the product section under in the main settings. They should not be in the homepage. We're getting the bollard, as well in the shop. It's going to be on the demo. I'm very interested in what the heck is going to be happening here.
They actually sound quite well. Like it's like surprising. It's like, well, maybe not surprising, but for an outdoor speaker, it's like, wow. This is not bad at all.
Where did you hear them? Where did you hear them?
Well, through the phone, but with my dealer.
Okay.
So they come with like these sorts of wires and stuff, and I mean it's a pretty large device all in.
Indeed.
I mean the bass is quite huge.
Bollard, right? But yeah, the bass driver goes in the ground, so that's.
I mean, you're gonna get handy with the shovel.
Oh hell yeah!
This is the amp for it.
Interesting.
That's how you connect it.
Okay.
And you have a web interface to tune the speaker completely how you like it.
Very nice. I like it. I'm looking forward to hear them, because yeah, they are on order, I believe, and I think that Kareem sold a couple pairs or a couple of them into a garden to some very interesting exterior or landscaper designer. So that's gonna be, I think even this year. No, maybe next year. I think it is. Maybe I don't get to do them because I'll get my visas, because I'm gonna unpack my 90s and I'm gonna ship my ass out finally to Florida. But yeah, I'm very interested in hearing them. It's sad that we get it so late in Canada, but then again, like there's only 2 stores in the entire country, if I don't count the third little island of hope in Saskatchewan.
It's copyright, but this is sort of what it looks like installed.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if the B&O sends the rocks too.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I actually like them in this sort of bucket thing that they come in.
Mm-hmm. They look cool.
And obviously you can have them black or the aluminium.
They're nice. They're definitely nice. I'm very intrigued.
I mean, I wish I could play the music, because you could sort of get an idea of how they sound, but like YouTube will just make that impossible.
We get demonized or demonetized or whatever have you. So my buddy was going to buy these, and then the app broke. Well, I say instead of a fair, Stefan, but it's true.
Look, I was going to buy another theater room, most likely for the bedroom, right? But then, like, do I want to like have another room where like it's like iffy? No. I mean, I have a fucking stage for my bedroom, and that it will be iffy.
Oh hell yeah.
So it's like what the fuck are we doing here? Like, why?
I just cannot believe that they still haven't fixed the stage problem, man. I cannot believe that.
Like, if you just have a contour, like, fuck you, who cares? Like, it's not just the stage, right? It's like everything that chassis in, including contours, which weren't cheap.
Oh,
I mean, they were nice, but not cheap.
it's still a price of an old, at the end of the day, it's like a what, BeoVision 10 back in the day? It's 10, 11 grand. It's about how much the bloody contour is now.
Yeah. Do I have Beosound Theater issues? Really, I have app issues. Like,
I don't use the app much anymore, honestly. I have to for work, but once I get home, I don't really want to see it or nor look at it. The only time that I do, if I actually pull up a movie, I go to settings, signal info, and see what the fuck I'm supposed to have my preset on. And c'est ça.
yeah,
No
but
more.
you, in all honesty, you shouldn't even have to do that.
Well, that's not even in all honesty. We shouldn't have to do that. I haven't had to do that since I bought ever. I used to have Marantz receivers and shit back before I bought the BeoVision 9. I never had to change shit. Bought the BeoVision 9 in 2008. Never had to change shit. Bought the Avant. Never had to change shit.
They didn't even have to change stuff between DTS and Dolby.
Bought the BV14. Haven't had to change shit. Had the Horizon. Haven't had to change shit. Then had the Eclipse. Haven't had to change shit. And now all of a sudden, it's all over the place.
I mean, what I find really weird, right, is that like a Harmony could do DTS and all that stuff, but also Dolby, most Dolby things, and you never had to change anything. But now within the same Dolby stack, you have to manually change stuff because it can't see what sort of Dolby it's doing or something.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But I still, don't get me wrong. Acoustically, performance of the theater is.
I agree,
superb,
but like you shouldn't have to change this.
Don't use the app.
Like this should be on the fly. This was what True Image was for, right?
Even before True Image, it knew doesn't it not read the metadata that is in the movie files that come in to set the whatever Dolby version, Neos or freaking DTS or 7.1 or whatever it is, it should know. So I don't know, man. I don't have issues because I don't use the app at all. At all. I tried the other day. Where was I? Oh yeah, we were in the park. I was trying to get the burger to play B&O radio in it. Like 15 minutes of my girlfriend's looking like, why are you still fucking with it? Where's the music? I'm like, I'm trying to fucking play it. I had to reboot this, reboot that, and then it finally worked. And all of a sudden, the squirrel came in, and then I took a video of hand feeding a squirrel. But yeah, the app definitely bumpy roads, man. Bumpy roads. They still need to hammer it down. It's getting better, but I think that they still fix something and break it somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just suffer with it. At least they fixed for me on my app. It shows that at least I have my favorite artists and favorite tracks. I believe it now shows in the splash page instead of going into the extra nonsense that you have to deal with.
Yeah, if you're on 6.0.3, then you can't get to 90s or 50s. So there's that.
See, and that's another thing that I don't have the 90s out, but then I definitely would be way more upset about it if I can't control them. But again,
well, you can, but you just
I already know that I'm not going to be able to do that properly, so I'm going to just address it with a simple workaround of putting a freaking link eye into it.
I mean, I don't know if you're on the version yet with the 4 at the bottom thing.
4 at the bottom. What do you mean? I'm on the 602 something app.
Oh, then you're not there yet. Then you're still good if you install 90s.
So let's see.
Oh,
All
guy says
apps.
delete the product from account and reinstall. Seriously?
You know what blows my mind? That like
Because
how
you can
much
get
did
to
you
them,
have
right?
to?
But there's like 4 on the 603 one. There's 4 at the bottom. You go to the bottom, then you go to the right top to that like person thingy. Then you go into products. Then you go into product list or whatever, and then you go to your 50s, and then you can still get to them. But it's like, God, this is a faff.
Wonder if I go to Play Store, is there an update for it, or is it still in the beta?
That it might be beta. I don't know. I don't know where what is anymore, because also some people seem to be on different versions, not in beta.
Yeah, I'm on 602.2. Whatever, and it's a
Because
freaking.
for a long time, Sandeep was on like a newer version than I could get non-beta, and he was non-beta too. And it's like, I don't understand. But
I have a software update on my phone. Maybe that'll do something, change something. But yeah, I don't really use the app, to be honest, at all. For the theater, I just I play my YouTubes, I play my whatever Netflixes and shit. If it's and Netflix tells you if it's in Dolby Atmos or whatever, so I just change the speaker preset and that's it. But I think once the 90s come out and the user interface, I guess, will become a little more important to me.
do you think the user interface of this will get into the app?
The
Because
what? Sorry,
B&O did a deal with TCL.
what is a TCL?
It's a Chinese TV manufacturer, and they make LCD panels, and they're quite good at the panels they make. And they make what, 120-inch LCD panel for like under 15 grand. And
Okay.
supposedly it's very good, but B&O is now making the sound for their top of the line stuff. And as you can
Mm.
see, like they have this sort of subwoofer thing that you can attach, and this weird soundbar thing.
Yeah, it looks like somebody was,
But you
taking
can,
the 17th design already a little bit to the side.
yeah. So this is a long-term licensing partner with TCL for their premium high-end line.
So is that gonna come with the B&O's tuning mic that I see in the picture?
It seems like it.
So yeah. Hmm.
I mean, so the
Is that the head unit? That it
no,
looks
I
like
think this
something
is
you would have in
testing
the ER. Yeah.
testing equipment. But
Yeah, that looks like
this is the sort
something.
of weird sound bar, which looks actually just too small to be of any significance. But this woofer thing seems interesting potentially.
Hmm.
Any news on BeoConnect Core? No, you ask every week. Go bug your dealer about it. Everybody bug your dealer about it if you want that thing.
Yeah, there is nothing being said, and I want that thing for sure. I've been
Yeah,
at it. Yeah, BioConnect Encore should be a product that they should come out and sell out to.
I fully agree. I've told B&O already, but like they just go, well, you're just one person, essentially.
But you
So,
guys already made fucking 200 of them. Make 500.
yeah, but then it comes down to the price, right? Like, what do you charge for it?
You know what? Fuck it. Even if they charge $1,000 for it, it's worth for me to buy it because I can
US or
utilize.
Canadian?
It doesn't matter. It's gonna be US. You know it. Fuck. It's just I would eat that. I would eat the shit on it, man. But I would want it. No, I do want it. I would buy it no matter what. I don't think I would buy it for $2,000. Come on, let's be realistic here. But if it comes out, I don't know where you got that info Maller DK that it should be coming next spring. But if you are correct, then God bless your heart, sir. Because I am very, very interested in that. Because that gives me a control from the theater to the 9000, which would be superb. Then again, I more or less am in the boat that do I care for it? If I put the link eye on the 9000, or I mean the 90s, and an SPDIF out from the CD player from the 9000 into the 90s, the CD command will turn on the CD player, and the link eye in the 90s will go to a SPDIF input, which is the CD command on the IR. And then I can do my 4 presets for sound with the My buttons, and volume works. The only thing that's going to be interesting is the volume display, because it would show on the 9000 as volume is being turned up, right? Because I would have to have that thing in option 1 in order to utilize it properly. And yeah, that would be it. Yeah, if you're right, and even if as long as it comes out, I don't mind. As long as it comes out, it'd be a great asset or addition, more or less, into the B&O's portfolio, and especially for the, if they're all about the recyclability nonsense and pushing all that green agenda as far as cradle to cradle platform. I think that the BeoConnect Encore is one of the most fantastic examples of it, where now your 23, 24-year-old CD player is reutilizable again in your new scenario with your Mozart platform, and so on and so forth. And I agree with it. But yeah, the Beosound 1 OG is a very nice product. I still like it, man. I still have one in my storage locker. So I don't know what
Apparently
you're talking about.
TCL is the world's biggest TV manufacturer. Like, not in the premium sector, but in like total sales.
So what are they making? Commercial display panels for like the concerts, probably, or anything else?
No, it's probably China, India, that sort of thing, right? Like a lot of people where like it's very affordable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But they're now, because of that, they're branching into like higher end stuff.
I don't know if it's a good idea for B&O playing with such a generic brand. But then you never know. You never know.
Well, they did lose the HP deal, right?
For the computers?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that ended beginning of this year.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. But yeah, but as a like a swap over for like licensing, I think it's probably a good thing. I mean, especially if you want to attack Asia, right? Like,
yeah,
it's good to be with the biggest manufacturer of TVs used in Asia, especially if they'll pop your brand on everything. I mean, it seems like their markets are still growing, where it's kind of plateauing, if not flat, or going downhill here. I mean, I'm not sure Canada's getting a whole lot more B&O customers, so to say, right?
No, I think we're losing those customers, quite honestly. People are getting out of the country because JT is just making it unlivable here. You saw what happened in Alberta, right? Jasper burned down to the ground, the whole city. And he's fucking surfing. He's surfing in Tofino, not a water bomber inside, nothing, man. They completely. And he has a natural hatred for that province, so I understand why they did that. But yeah, everybody that has anything to do with anything here that has a little bit of a brain for what it's worth is leaving the country. And that's just where it's at.
Yeah. But like in terms of like how that affects B&O, right? Like Asia seems like a better market to be in, and if that's the case. I mean, I was
I
looking at
think
some
so.
of the like middle class growth in like China, and it's like, holy shit, they did a thing over the last decade or so.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how much more middle class they have, right? And also even upper middle class.
Well, here they're killing the middle class, basically, is what's
Yeah.
happening, and people, and these price increases just making it more and more unaffordable. Like it's interesting here, like the whole economic situation that I observe in Montreal or Quebec per se. And there is a lot more affluent people here than there ever was, than there ever is now in the Western Canada. I'm not talking Vancouver because that's all China money basically. But when it comes to Alberta, which was one of the wealthiest provinces for decades on end, we are. It's a sad state of affairs over there, man. Like there's no way that you can survive a B&O shop in Alberta anymore. So what's the point? Floor is asking, would either one of you recommend buying a Bluetooth remote, Bio Remote One, if you have a no LG panel? Just wondering if you like the feel and weight and general functionality of it. I don't know what you're gonna control with it, but bro, buy it, man. You can pair your iPhone to it, and you can control your Spotify and volume and tracks and play pause on it. For some reason, when you pair it into the PC, it makes it's functionless. It used to work, but now it doesn't anymore.
Can't you also connect it to your Legos or something?
No, I tried.
Uh,
I tried it. You can do it. It doesn't have that particular code Bluetooth stack, I guess.
Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, guys.
But
Hey.
yeah, I would go with if you want it, take it, man.
Ludovic says it's showing 10.99 euro at some dealer's website, Luxus. Like if I think this is the I think you're mistaking the BioConnect Core versus the Encore. Because
That's what
that
I'm
is the
thinking too.
price of the BioConnect Core, but the BioConnect Encore is a different thing and is not sold separately of the
Yeah,
BeoSound 9000C system.
yeah. Flores put it this way: it's it's like my father used to say: the farmer that found a rope ended up buying a cow to tie it to. So you're gonna buy the remote, and you're gonna end up with some other B&O product that you're gonna want to control it. So that's what I'm thinking.
Gary says I've just bought a BeoSound 1, the original 2002, as a radio. Are there any speakers with DAB? I can't find. What do you mean speakers? Like the speakers, it's a receiver that needs to be DAB compatible.
Yeah, and you can plug it into the bottom DIN connector on the BeoSound One, old school generation.
I mean, my BeoSense 2 is DAB compatible, which apparently is rare. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but now you can probably just do this kind of a tab here because
Yeah,
there
I
is no
don't use it here. Right? Like nothing
yeah
uses DAB here.
there is no dabs in in US, man. We got AM and FM
Yeah.
and XM radio. Yeehaw! You can listen to what's his name, Howard Stern on XM radio.
Yeah, but XM is satellite again, isn't it?
Yeah. You go through a
Yeah,
tunnel
like I
and you
don't
get
have a
quiet.
satellite receiver. Like,
But now you can get the XM radio on the app, right? Because
yeah.
obviously that they've pushed it into everything. But yeah, I know. So yeah, the original BeoSound One SE. What's the special edition? What was that? The gold one with the gold remote that came out? That was probably the only special edition ones that I remember from the BeoSound One.
I
They should
mean,
make a
maybe it's updatable because they did have a bunch of software updates, but at this
for
point,
what?
you for the old because my BioCenter 2 was updated software wise, right?
Yeah, but there's no software update for the BeoSound One. There is nowhere to plug in anything. There is nowhere to plug into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no service tool you can plug into the BeoSound One. The only way you can update the software is probably just by changing the actual physical firmware chips on it. But there was no DAB on the BeoSound One that I've ever known and heard of. It's an FM radio CD player with alarm and timer. That's it. And an auxiliary input. So if you want to put in your XM radio into it, you buy an XM radio player, get yourself a 3.5mm jack to a DIN connector without the center pin. Steve at Sounds Heavenly will be more than happy to make one for you in whatever length you need it, and plug it in. And then as soon as you press both CD buttons back and forth together, auxiliary source turns on, and you can listen to your DAB radio per se, or XM radio, or for whatever you want. But yeah, that's a boat that has sailed 21 years ago,
Yeah,
20 years ago.
You said
24
basically
years
want
ago.
a standalone system without separate speakers, but with DAB in addition to FM. Would that be Beosound 35 maybe?
Beosound 35 doesn't have DAB. Beosound 35 is a network link product.
Is it 3500 updatable then?
3500 is a fucking dumb masterlink speaker that doesn't have any AM FM on it. 3500 is just a link room speaker, so it's dependent on a masterlink source. The only ones I know of that had DAB ever, as far as like the North American market, was Beosound 4, Beocenter 2, and fucking that's it. I don't think we even had DAB on the Beosound 3200 back then.
But it's not a standalone product in that case, regardless.
No.
So, I mean, you may be able to look at, like, go to your local hardware store and see if you can get a DAB to FM antenna, like a conversion box, and use it like that way.
Because you can plug in a DAB antenna, I guess. Like, there is an antenna input on the bottom of the Beosound 1. A guy called Beosound 3 was an FM radio with an SD card player that had nothing else to it. And the limitation was 2 gigabyte. 2 gigs was, or 2 gigs or 4 gigs, I believe 2 gigs was the maximum size that the Beosound 3 would take. And I would confirm that for you in a month or two when I move out, because I do have a Beosound 3 that I use strictly as a clock at this point of time, because it looks sexy. But yeah. Yeah, Guy Cord, you're right. On the Beosound 1, the green button would turn on the CD, red button would show the time, and yellow button would open the antenna or turn up the antenna, or whatever, bring it up and put it down. And the blue button was for blue balls. Didn't have no.
Look, if you want FM radio, right? But like, the only reason I'm wondering is if there is internet available. I would say get the newer Beosound 1 or 2, even an old generation.
Why would you fuck around with DAB and noise and fuzz and hum, where you most likely can find that station on B&O Radio's app, make it your favorite, and that's it.
Yeah.
I would 100% do that instead of trying to reverse engineer something that's never been there to begin with.
Because the Cone Beosound 1 sounds quite good and will do your radio all day long. It just needs internet access, unless you have this out in a field somewhere
and you don't have access to internet.
But you don't really need FM these days anymore, because most places have internet coverage.
Yes, unless you're out in the boonies somewhere. Where is my cigarettes? So yeah, I would look into it that way, or just get an XM player and plug it in through a DIN connector input, and you're laughing, man. You don't have an issue then.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. So yeah. Anyways, what else is there for questions, people? Ask something.
By the way, TCL is the same company that had like this made this monstrosity, right? of 115 inches. Where are we?
Let's see.
Hold on. Let me find.
Yeah, I'm as live as it can be on the YouTubes. I don't see it yet.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm trying to not get.
Yeah, Stefan, I think your 8s are coming second week of August. The earliest they'll show up is probably like really earliest would be Tuesday, maybe Monday of next week, but I don't think so because I know that Kareem redirected everything and we postponed everything that to have everything show up basically first or second week of August, just in case. But yeah, once they come in, bro, I cannot wait. I'm gonna put them in. Did you get the Core Connect with it, Stefan? Are we doing? Yeah, because we're moving your TV from the living room to the bedroom eventually, or is it happening all at the same time when we do the 8s? I don't remember the details anymore. Did I see the new Parisian Blue Beosound Theater apple cloth or black for that? No, I did not, but I had found them. I've talked about it a while back in on a podcast. I found them in the ROS. The first picture that I had ever seen was on Discord. This was this week. Somebody posted the gold tone Beosound Theater.
Yeah.
With the custom gold tone top plates and fucking looks awesome, bro. It looks money. It looks absolute money. I'm considering that I would replace the gray melange for the black because it would look nicer, I guess. But I'm having a hard time justifying paying 3 times for what the gray melange costs versus the black fabric. That's little fucking too much. Too much. So I'm gonna be happy with it as it is. I was actually toying with the idea because my speakers are white, right? The Lab 90s are white. If I get the gold tone top and leave the lamellas like that, if it would look okay, I don't know. It would look interesting. Maybe it would look too distracting in a way. But
TCL are these people, right? Like this is an LG.
Isn't that the guy that does the shows that goes to eat like Philly sandwiches and shit?
Yeah, that's this Guy Fieri. It doesn't matter. This is an LG C3 65-inch.
Oh no, this is just a picture. I'm like, that's not the dude's. Okay, fuck. I'm like, that dude does that now?
No, this is the 115-inch TCL panel.
Call this. And that's a 65?
Yeah.
Fuck, that looks like a cell phone screen. Like from the flip phone almost.
Yeah. Like this, what they make is enormous, but it's fairly affordable. I just don't want it, right? Because like it's LED. It has a lot of dimming zones, but still I prefer OLED.
Yeah, fudge, man. How heavy is that, I wonder?
Like 100 kilos or something.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I think it comes in a box, right?
Well, you know what, to me, that's the problem that's starting to occur with these just unbelievably large panels is there is now a limitation that presents itself is how much can you fit of it into the elevator if somebody lives on whatever floor?
How much can your wall handle?
Well, fuck, you can reinforce it, but if you can't get the TV over there, it doesn't matter how much money you've got.
Yeah. I guess you
or how
rent
good
a
your wall
crane?
is. Bro, but there's like, we had a job, I felt so bad for the guys, man. We were doing Lutron shades.
Yeah.
One shade by literally a ½ inch would not fit into the elevator. 51 floors.
Bloody hell.
51 floors. It took him 3 hours to go because they had to go every floor. You know, when the fire exit is, they had to open the door. It was 3 of them. One guy would hold the door. 2 guys go up and then up the stairs turn it around, open the door again, and they did it 51 fucking times.
I guess you have some
So,
calf training for them,
dude,
don't you?
and yeah, well, the guys that were doing it, maybe one of them I would call semi in shape, but the other dude, man, it was not fun. And it's Montreal. Everybody smokes, so imagine the stamina on your lungs to go 51 floors up with like a 60-kilo fucking rod with fabric on it that you got to be careful with.
Well, I had to do that for my sister once. Like, she bought a new bed, and everything fit in the elevator except for the headboard.
Oh,
So it wasn't that bad, but I think we had to go up 10 stories.
yeah, but still, you remember this to this day, bro.
Yeah.
It's a vivid memory.
Well, the good thing was actually is that one of the cabinets she had also later didn't fit in the elevator, and we had already brought the headboard up, and we're like, no, just straight up fucking no. You're either going to pay somebody else for this, you're going to pay us, or it's just not happening.
There's a time where brotherly love runs out, right?
Well, this cabinet she had was probably a good 200 kilos, right? So, like...
Oh, no way, bro. Fuck, no way.
Yeah.
Take out the drawers and everything in it.
That was with the drawers out. It was solid oak.
Ed Wortham, do you predict LG will ever make an 83-inch TV screen for B&O? I think that you're missing out on life. We have an 83-inch C4 panel on our Harmony. So there is 83. There's an 88-inch screen for
There's a 97-inch screen for B&O Harmony.
There you go. So yeah, I know the sizes are there, but it also comes with a pretty sizable chunk out of your wallet coming off.
Yeah.
Michael Christensen, I've bought a BB740, including one BeoLab 7-4. Any idea for the usage for that BeoLab? Buy another one and put them as rears, dude, I guess. They don't sound great. They're very good in the mid range, but there's no like it's not a musical speaker. They're tuned for vocals, so it's not much that you can do with it, honestly. So yeah, 97 Harmony is it's a lot of machine, that's for sure. It's a lot of screen, a lot of panel.
Yeah. So
there is no Michael. There is no rear center in the theater presets. Doesn't exist. And quite honestly, I had played with that back in the yesteryears when I was living in Calgary on the Avant 55 with the actual working true image proper. If you have it set to center back, I've had a speaker. What was it?
The 7.2.
I did have a 7.4 because I just don't want to confuse it, because I did use at some point I put a 7-2 in the back behind my chair, and I used them as a rear, back, left, and right, and they worked. But if I put a 7.4 and just put center back, I never had sound come out of the back speaker ever. And the only movie that I can think of that would have that particular decoding, which was the very first iteration of surround sound, was James Cameron Abyss, which was left and right and center back. That was as far as the surround was at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only movie that I know of off by heart that you could probably test it on. But like, what are you gonna put a 7.4 to watch fucking Abyss from 1980 something, bro? Let's see. That's not viable. But yeah, I would honestly use it as I don't know, summer. Put it in the garage, bro.
By the way, if you want a theater, currently it only goes up to 77 in the customizer, right? But you can just custom order 83-inch wings from your dealer.
Yeah.
It'll be obviously a bit more, but...
Mikey, do you miss your Harmony, or does the theater trump the sound? I think that's not a fair or unfair question to ask Mikey, because he's never really utilized it to the point where normally you would have it in a standalone scenario, because he had 50s to begin with the harmony.
Yeah.
So it was never that. And it's something that if you have speakers of such caliber, you don't just turn on the fucking TV and suffer with the sound of it. That just
No.
doesn't happen.
No, I rarely even turn on the theater with just the sound of it.
Why would you, right? Like,
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
No, like every time I turn my TV on, I see like power bill spike, right? Because like a shit ton of things turn on.
So,
like it's not even close.
do the 50s perform better with the theater compared to the harmony? Acoustically,
Yes,
I would say yes. 100%
absolutely.
yes.
But everything performs better with the theater,
Yes.
except for like the true image.
Ouch.
So I do miss the harmony because
The sexy of it.
yeah, it's very nice.
It is the most B&O-ish TV they've had in a while. The theater, yes, it's a B&O-ish TV, but the theater is only B&O-ish TV on the freaking floor stand. That magical movement is there. Otherwise, the theater is just it's a sound bar, more or less. There's no magic to it.
Yeah.
But yes, it does, however, severely outperform harmony. It comes to bass response or anything like it. It's just there is no such comparison whatsoever. But yeah, we're not the people really, or Mikey's not the person to really answer the question which one's better, A to B, because if you have speakers, it's the same thing. Like, I would never be able to tell you much of what the difference would have been between the Avant 55 and Theater 55 when I had my 90s always set up with it. So
Look,
imaging wise, you could tell, but
I mean, I can steer you a certain way. Like if you are, let's say, older and want to use it just as a TV and no nonsense and occasional a DVD or movie, then I would definitely say go for a harmony, right? Because it's just rock solid. It doesn't fuck up. There's no weirdness. It still has an on-screen menu.
yeah, you're not tied by the freaking app to do anything. And yeah, if the whatever disappears from the app, I really could care less because I'm not using the app much. I have to use it by default of my trade, obviously, because I have to set up people's products, so that needs to happen on the app because I have no choice. But as soon as I get home, the phone goes on a little B&O cheat charger and c'est tout, c'est ça, bro.
Yeah,
No more.
but this is what I have now. So a theater on its floor stand and the screen 83-inch separated from it. Works right.
That works.
Well, looks good to me. Like I did put some like of those ambient lights behind the screen. Mostly because I want that 97-inch panel eventually. And this really, like in viewing, extends that panel experience. It's less obvious when you look at it versus when it's a picture. Like, it's the same difference, right? Like if you take a picture of the aluminium front of the 50s, you'll see the drivers. But with your own eyes, it's sort
You
of
can't. Yeah, your brain doesn't compute that. It's so weird how our eyeballs work and how much stuff we're missing in real life.
Well, it's the depth of field thing where, like a chain link fence, sometimes you see all of it and sometimes you see none of it because you're looking straight through it.
Fair enough, yeah. Also, we got like 55 people watching, and smash the like button, please. Might as well get some likes going on in there.
So, does this look as good as a harmony? No. A harmony for sure looks better when it's off, which is not something you say about a lot of products, right?
No, but theater does look great also when it's turned off. Yeah, the panel is dominant, but that offset with the grill and the aluminium on the bottom does enough to make it look cool. I like it also on the wall bracket because it gives that more of a squared image.
Yeah.
presentation or square the look of the TV that we're, more or less accustomed to from the yesteryears of the David Lewis's designs, and it's very beefed up BeoVision 11 to me on the wall bracket.
Yeah, but
with the
one
different
of the
design
things
languages,
where
of course,
the
but
harmony does have the sort of ceremony and stuff is the opening procedure, right? And where, like, I think missing the curtains is much more obvious on the
you
theater.
just took it out of my mouth, man. I think the theater would look much better in sexy of the presentation if the screen actually opened. And I really don't believe it's that hard for them to do that
No,
once you install the app. I really don't believe that that's so hard for them to do that.
I would
And
love that. It would bring the classic B&O back. It's just
exactly.
like, forget about the audio change it did, right? Like, I understand that's too hard for you guys now.
I don't think it is. Why would it be?
Because it's software. Software is hard.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Fine. What am I doing here?
Like, just give us the light show of that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to get the whole audio sucking into one point and then going poof, off. Like that, because that's what it actually used to do. It wasn't just curtains.
That's right. It brought it collapsed everything to the center of the screen closing.
Yeah, so, but forget about that. We've forgotten about that. Just give us the fucking curtains. Samsung gives you fucking curtains.
They do it like the eyes are opening and closing, which is kind of weird, but better than nothing.
I mean, I think even lower gives you curtains.
I guess we should be happy that we have the ability to turn off the LG logo at least.
Yeah.
Let's see. So,
yeah.
There is something wrong with my coffee maker, bro. I have a lot of garbage there. I don't like it. I need to freaking descale the machine.
Yeah, or the little pricky thing.
It's starting to leak though as well. This is the machine that I've had go through the accident with me 8 years ago now, I guess. And it's still
might be slightly
coffee.
longer than that.
We bought it in 2016, I think, in the beginning of the year when we traveled with Nick.
8 years ago.
It's just 8 years.
8
years and a logging truck going through it, flying through the windshield and being bounced back by the logs. I think that's a pretty good damn track record. Never had software problems with it though.
Java says software is hard, hardware is soft.
Yeah, they still struggle with it. And you know what? It's kind of sad because B&O back in the days were about 90% of the magical movement and 10% of the software. And that now has changed and turned around dramatically where there's not much magical movement and the mechanics of all that, because the mechanical media has gone away. You no longer, what are you going to feed your phone into a player somehow? Like, what do you do, right, to make it sexy? So the only way you can make it sexy is to have
you mean
fluent
player, not planar, like it takes a top
off. But they need to.
The harmony is just rock solid, right? Like if you don't do a lot of Atmos stuff, or if you don't have a bunch of height speakers, or like the harmony is just still a perfect TV.
For classic surround, you can't beat it.
Yeah, if you have a 5.1 system, like there's no difference between the two, really.
Mm-hmm. The look.
So it's
and the center channel presentation, I guess. Like if you have 50s, the theater copes and compensates with that power output on the fronts much better than the harmony ever would. Or 90s per se.
Yeah, but I think it's shit or something.
No, it's not. But like when I had the 90s with the Avant or even the Eclipse, I found that the imaging, because I used to watch movies in narrow mode, right? And that just brings the vocals directly 1 meter away from you, but then you can hear the center channel still in the distance. Like there's that separation in space, not really time, but in space, that the vocals just don't match. That's why, like, when I was watching movies, more or less, I had disabled the center channel on I've never really used the Avant's center channel when I was with the 90s.
Yeah, but your 90s were also very close together. Like if they were center line to center line, like 5+ meters away, it would be a different
They
story.
were no, they were 5 meters apart.
No, no. So I
No,
mean,
sorry, they were 3 meters apart, three
yeah,
meters apart, and 3 meters far. So it was a
yeah.
perfect triangle.
But if that was like 5 and 5, right, it would be a very different story.
Yeah, well, that won't be even in my new place. Where is this? Here, I can maybe send you
Oh, I'm not like I'm just
a
saying.
floor
Like
plan.
it depends very much on your room as well for whether that works or not.
Yeah, here. I
Because
have.
in that sort of 3-3-3 triangle, yeah, you kind of don't need a center. But
Yeah,
I've seen pictures of Matt's living room, right, and I think it's more from the center of the harmony. It's almost like 2 meters to the first 50, so that's like 4 and a bit meters separation between the 50s, and like that's where a center will matter more.
see, I
But
sent
also,
you
a
a pic.
harmony is better at being a center than an avant is.
Yes, sent you a photo of the floor plan that my apartment is going to be like. And I forgot to measure the distance between the speakers there, but I don't think that I'm gonna be more than 3 meters apart again from it. Cool.
Do, 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 do.
You have WhatsApp on your computer, right?
No, but it doesn't
Oh,
matter. I'll forward it to myself.
oh, I could have emailed you that. Sorry.
That's all right.
I have the WhatsApp installed on my computer, so I figured you did too, but not. But anyways, yeah, the next apartment, I don't. It's gonna be about the same distance that I have here, like in between the speakers, probably a little bit closer. But the plugs are where they're supposed to be. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So I'm quite stoked about that. Uh, and the layout is gonna be great. The only thing that it's a south exposure, which sucks because there's going to be a lot of sunlight, and I'm not a good. I'm not good with that because I don't want them to be bleaching my shit. So
Put film on the window.
fuck it for 1 year, man. I'm just gonna live with like a hobbit with the blinds down, just like I did in in Calgary. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So
Yeah, just the
bedroom,
logistics
hallway.
of there we go. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to rotate it. I guess.
Uh,
So yeah, there's the entrance, the closet, the laundry room, and the main bedroom is basically gonna be the furthest one from the living room. The bedroom number two is gonna be my storage locker, so that is gonna be where all my boxes are. So that should create enough acoustic based buffer for it not to be pushing further.
mm-hmm.
And then if you go to the bottom of the drawing where the kitchen is, that's where the 90s are gonna sit. So where the dining table is right now, each corner, one on the outside corner and one on the inside corner, that's where the 18s are gonna be at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And where the couch is, that's not like how it's gonna be laid out, but it's gonna straddle the bottom side of each window. So there's gonna be a 90 in that little corner and 90 in the other corner, and in front of the window is gonna be the theater. Yeah.
All right.
And then chair there. I just gotta buy freaking. I stupid. I left my stools in Calgary. I'm like, oh, there. I'll just buy new ones in Florida. I fucking gonna have to go to IKEA now, tabarnak, and buy more. Buy another set of stools. Call this. So, but that's about where I'm gonna be at with this apartment. So I'm thinking maybe I'll throw in a level in the kitchen because it'll kind of look cool. I'll probably put the emerge in the bathroom. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the piano black Beosound one I have. Uh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my moment yet. I definitely am not gonna put up the shape. But if I were to put up the shape, I would do it where the 18s would have been. But then the problem goes, where do I put the 18? Right? Like, do I put it by the counter, or by the island on one side? That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Hang
So
your shape on the ceiling.
can't. It's all concrete.
Oh.
exposed concrete, and it looks so good. So the only thing is gonna be shiitake mushrooms is the echo. Echo is gonna be real in there, so I'm gonna have to, because I also, dumbass, left my carpet. I didn't bring the carpet, so I gotta buy a new carpet too. Does anybody live in North America? I live in North America, and so does Mikey, bro.
Yeah, like 500 million other people.
Oh God. Yeah, you kind of set yourself up for that one, MM. Shit. But yeah, it's gonna be good. I like the place. Bathroom is nice and big. Maybe I'll wall mount the level in the bathroom on that wall where the door is, because there's a huge cabinet and mirror above the sink and the bathroom or the toilet. So yeah, I should have taken some pictures. Where do you get the B&O cables? Well, you have two options, more or less. You can contact your local dealers, or you can just ping Steve at Sounds Heavenly.
But
and
he
go from there.
currently doesn't do North America.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I guess I can try and work something out with Steve where I'll become like an in-betweener or something, where he just sends me like a pallet of cables, right? And I do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm too busy at the moment to like fully take that on.
Just email me whatever cables you need. I can send them to you, bro. Like, I have access to whatever. Like, if I don't have those cables in my personal stock, I'll get them ordered for you.
Last
and you
time,
can
though,
just
I
have
think
it
he was
shipped out.
looking for the impossible cable, like the Penta data link cable or whatever.
Oh shit! I think, yeah. Didn't you talk to the guys in Boston? I believe that's where I sent you to, because they're probably the biggest hoggers of.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot of stuff. We also have a lot of stuff,
Look,
but they had a major purge, and we've thrown out a lot of things as well from the warehouse because it's old and obsolete.
certain cables are like PowerLink Mark 1, 2, 3, RJ45, anything is fairly easy to get just about anywhere, right? Like even in North America. But even the old stuff is getting hard to get now in Europe.
Yes.
Like better than even Steve, I would almost say, like, learn a second language and peruse like Dutch, German, and French secondhand sites and see if you spot anything.
Yeah. Or call the B&O shop in Peru, because they still have Beovision 10 on display, so they might have they might have some stock for you still.
I mean, if you need a standard PowerLink anything, most dealers will have that.
Oh yeah, so you did get the cable from Boston. Yeah, let me know what other cables you want, man. We can definitely find a solution one way or the other. It's not the end of the world. And worst comes to worst, if you can't get them from Steve, then maybe I can make them for you, because I obviously do have the capability, but I don't have much will. But you know, things can happen without a
Soldering
problem.
ruins your fingertips.
If you're doing it wrong. I got the little alligator clips to hold the wires, man. I'm not fucking around no more.
Yeah, okay, then it's slow, right? Like then it's very time.
It's slow. It's a tedious process for sure. It's the same thing. Like, what I don't understand, why B&O doesn't make the RJ45 to RCA with the trigger cable, because we sell. Not everybody goes for the option of, okay, well, I can afford the BeoLab 8s and I want to have a Marantz or whatever Denon receiver. I'm not gonna say the Y word because Yamaha sucks. But if you just get the regular receiver, they all have 12-volt triggers. So the only way for you to do it, like, I make the cables where I pull the yellow and the ground and basically make out of an IR flasher, I make a trigger, and that plugs in. Then you just put it to a PowerLink splitter, and then it goes Cat7 into the both speakers, wherever the hell they end up at in the theater room or whatever. But I don't understand why that is still not a product line for B&O to be making. Like, this should have been done back when BeoLab 12 was introduced, for God's sakes, because those were the first RJ45 protocol speakers or connector speakers that were introduced, and there was no solutions really to do third-party hookups. Yes, I understand they have line sensitivity, but that has gone away because y'all took the fucking buttons off. So the 28s, the 8s don't got the button no more. So
Yeah.
how do you do that? And if you do it through the app, for some reason, the right channel stops working on the power link mode when it's connected to the BeoConnect core or anything else. I've had that happen. I had to power cycle the speakers and then they work. Why? Like if you put them to power link,
Progress.
that thing should just completely become, the top plate should be completely inoperable at all times. At all times, not just when the speaker is active. Also when it's in standby. Don't have any function at all. Use your theater, use your BeoConnect core, use your whatever TV you got or whatever preamp or other receiver you have going on. It should be, as soon as you have them in the power link mode, the speakers should disappear from being able to be played to.
Yeah, it's too much of the wanting everything all at once, right? Like, and yes, it's possible, but you need a
But
software.
is it feasible though? Like
Yeah.
that's the biggest question that they need to ask themselves. Yes, it's possible, but is it feasible? Does that make any sense in any logic of any kind whatsoever?
Well, it's the same with the app, right? Like, it was feasible to make it nice, and it is getting nicer. It's just taking a heck of a lot longer that it's become annoying to a lot of people. By the way, you're not the only
Yes.
dealership with app issues.
No, I'm sure.
Like, it's like,
Everybody's got that problem, man. It's just global. Like this is not something that, oh, it's only Montreal and, oh yeah, you guys in Quebec because, you know what, because the language is French, so we can't have the app going on properly now because all the special characters and shit.
wait, your app is actually in French in the shop?
Yeah, I think so. I don't. Yeah, maybe. I don't remember. I think it's all in French. That's why, like for me, I've muscle memory already. Like just go to account settings and take over the account because I can't help you with all this qu'est-ce shit on the screen, bro.
Beolab, huh?
Oh yeah. The only thing that sucks about French is when people do the Lutron programming, like the other third parties that we come in sometimes and do that and try to integrate things like into the Savant. The special characters don't work, so you can't control the buttons that are labeled in French with like the accent letters. They have to go back to the program and put everything in plain 24 letter English or 24 alphabet English writing. Yeah, it's a lot of laughs. So yeah, that's one thing that screws up for us as far as the French language for integration. But other than that, I don't see a reason why the BNO app shouldn't work.
Yeah.
So
Flores says my dealer's 90 stopped working yesterday. It took him a day to get ready for the race today. Don't know if it was an app issue. Well, it was probably a combo of both, right? It was probably like you needed to either power cycle them or like full on reset them, but then you have to go through the app and then
yeah.
and then it depends on which version of the app you're on whether it's going to be or like, god damn it, fucking hell, what the hell.
I personally, like when I was setting up the 50s in the shop, I pissed on the app completely. I just put them in a network, right?
Yeah.
Hardwire, go to Fing, find the IP, go to the configurator as it was on their own web interface and go from there. Now the problem is that during the tuning, for some reason, it shows up with do you want to check for software updates? And then it fucks up the whole tuning process because you can't back out of that screen.
Well, if you say no, it's just a suggestion, right? It's not actually saying no.
But there is no software on it. It's just for some reason that was just bugging out on me. But that's tuning, right? But other than that, I had no issues with it being set up. But yeah, I don't use the app for what it's supposed to be used for, unfortunately. And luckily, like our 90s are hooked up to the Harmony, which is a fucking tank, rock solid. So it's no problem. The speaker groups work. Everything's fine, hand and dandy. We don't use them independently. We don't have any other sources connected to them, so there is not much headache that we are facing in the shop. And had that be the case, I would honestly put a link eye on the 90s and just have him IR, take out another remote out of the stock and just have it in IR mode and just control the 90s for whatever you want. That's how I would do it. But we don't have those scenarios in the store. So we're kind of lucky. And the 50s are hooked up to the theater, which I also appreciate that if you have them hardwired, the eco mode is automatic for some reason in the theater. You cannot change, to turn off the eco mode. So if the speakers are not part of the listening position, they don't turn on. So we have a theater with the 50s in a startup mode, which just comes to because it's a theater. 18s on the wall with the 19 sub, and there's different combinations of 18s alone sub, blah blah blah, and then there's 50s.
Yeah.
But by default, we have the theater. I had it set up, I think, just theater on its own or theater plus 18s. The lenses never come up on the 50s until you go to that speaker preset or listening position rather.
Correct.
That's when the lenses, click clack, lenses come out and start playback. But as soon as you get out of that speaker preset or listening position, it will shut them down and just utilizes whatever. But not on the WiSA, they are always ready, right? Because they just by default they are. But they are managed power-wise on the power link based on their usage. Because we also wanted to do that with a Harmony as well. We don't, yes, we have the 90s on display, but why the fuck would you have the 90s turned on every day for 8 hours a day and not play anything to them, right? Just eat the power supply and basically rob the speaker of its life, even though it's not really doing anything.
Yeah, they don't need to be on at all.
So they are only on when the time comes to be on, and they're literally playing maybe for, I would say, 2-3 minutes, because you can't really, juice them in the store that much because the fucking lights start to fall down off the ceiling. There's just so much power in those speakers, man. It's unbelievable. It's so much power.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the first few times to see cracks in my ceilings and walls and stuff.
Oh, you are at the definitely achievable level of that.
Yeah.
With 2 sets of 50s and what, 3 pairs of 17s.
Oh, I feel it in my ankles sometimes when I'm walking around. It's like, ooh.
Fuck.
It's like it's coming up through my feet, literally.
Yeah, dude. That's one thing that I also like about the 90s, that they're so bloody heavy that the bass does not really transfer into the floor directly. The vibration's there because it's moving so much air that you will eventually feel it, but it's not as apparent and as obnoxious as the 50s are, 50s 5s, where they fire into the ground, and it's just that is not an apartment friendly speaker. No. 90s, 50s, yes, not too much when you get a little bit into the sauce like I do, and I like to juice them. But yeah, they make the room the speaker. Basically, it's a heck of an experience. It's a pleasure to come home and listen to this shit. I swear to God. So, with regards to the power of the 90s, they were connected to Harmony, and they had to crack them up to 80 or so to get a Top Gun trailer a bit acceptable. Is this better in theater? I don't think I understand what you're saying.
There seems to be something wrong there, because even on a Harmony, 80 on 90s is ridiculously loud.
Oh yeah, that's you fucking meet neighbors, all right.
I think that's a setting of some sort where something is not correct.
See you, Stefan.
Have a good one, Stefan.
Yeah, I know there's some wrong, or they have it. There's something wrong with the speaker preset. There's no way at 80. No way. I don't know if you can normalize the volume. They also may have gone into the sound modes and diddled and fiddled with those, and may have subsequently effed it up. I had seen people do that, and I don't know what the original values are. So if you get into that point that you had messed up the sound presets in the main menu, and that's a factory reset the bloody thing. That's about it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even if you have an enormous room, right? And by that I mean 10 by 15, 80 volume on 90s that are tuned for the room is loud. It
is loud. It is loud as fuck, man. In my apartment,
with something like Top Gun, that's gonna be 100 plus dB.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have the jet flying over your head, 100%, and all the neighbors.
If your shirt is not moving at that point, then something's not right.
Yeah,
I mean literally
down. Yeah, you can feel that. I normally would watch the movies at 65, and it was like, holy fuck, like you would turn it down. Every now and then you go to 75, 80. That's really pushing it, man. Really, really pushing it on the 90s. So yeah, there's something wrong with the tune, or I don't know. They had it. There doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. I would need to see the presets and settings how they had it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's
Yeah, or they were
90s.
set up as a weird channel. Like
They could have had a wrong
like-
speaker allocation on
yeah,
speaker
like a
roll.
wide left or wide right or something that's a faux channel that you can still do in a harmony, and not
Yes.
like front left and front right, something like that.
And that is why it's important to have the TV set in the proper language when you're playing with it. Because I've had that scenario where I was doing an Avant service call, and we need to reset the speakers up, and like, I'm gonna tune this properly, man. It sounds fucked up in here. And I was trying to do it in French, and I'm like, so what does that say? It's like, it says left speaker, but it says left wide, but he omitted the wide out of the thing, right? I'm like, no, that sounds still weird, man. I'm like, navigated to the menu, changed the bloody language. I'm like, oh, dude, no, this is the wrong way. It's like, reset the speakers, front, left, front, right, blah, blah, blah. Guys like, holy shit, sounds so much better. I'm like, yeah, you can't play with it if you don't understand what you're doing. Because, yeah, you can't really break it, but you can sure as shit fuck it up to the point where it's unlistenable to. And it'll sound worse than any conventional stereo system that you would have bought for a few $100s off a regular store.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, Flores, I think your dealer has some setting wrong, which could also be a function of them going wonky yesterday.
I would bet $1 on it, man. Honestly, there's no way. Or the soundtrack was just shite, which I have a hard time believing.
Yes.
I really do. I think there was something wrong with the setting.
I think the initial Top Gun release for DVD wasn't even Atmos anyway. I think they added that later.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it came in DTS 5.1 initially.
But still, surround, man. I don't know. The Atmos is cool, but it really also depends, Atmos or not, is how good the engineer was mixing it. Because I had seen some atrocious movies, and the soundtrack was, I would shake the dude's hand for that. That's what kept me in it, because watching a shit movie on the 90s makes it still good. If the sound is okay. So
yeah.
But yeah, I would do the email me what cables you need, if you need any. I'm still sitting on my ass at home all week, so I can make you some if you want or need. If you need a trigger cable, yeah, and then just get on the horse and email me, and then I'll also keep my eyeball on the spam, because obviously there are some people that email me that end up in that particular unfortunate bin of my email inbox. So yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna, coffee connoisseur, I'm gonna add you on my on my WhatsApp. Well, I already unblocked him, or unspammed him, but I'm gonna put you in the WhatsApp as well, and we're gonna chat for sure. Because why not? But yeah, I am very much looking forward to getting out of here and setting up my 90s, man. I'm so horny for it now. It's unbelievable. I'm so horny for my speakers, bro. It's been 2.5 years since I've heard them. Well, I've heard them in the store, but like listening to this shit in the store is not the same as you doing it at home. It's not. It doesn't matter what people say. It is not. It's not. First of all, they're not yours, and it's not that I can't juice them up or crank them up or whatever. But you can't sit there for fucking half an hour, with your little bourbon and just listen to music at ridiculous volume, because you basically impede on the entire store's operation, because there ain't nobody gonna be on the phone no more.
Come back as a customer on your day off.
So yeah, I'd rather, I'm gonna unbox my little babies, well, little Goliaths, I guess, and then another thing is gonna hope that the cat don't claw on them. which I never thought that I would actually have say those words, but now apparently it's a reality that my girlfriend has a cat.
Yeah, well, get a spray bottle of water, right, and just
Get the bag of salt. They'll shoot it with the salt gun.
No,
But
if it's not hard
it
enough,
won't
they
work.
don't care. But they care about
No.
water, even if it's soft, because it's like, ugh.
Oh yeah, the water is no good for cats. That's well known fact. But
They
yeah,
rust.
they can the cats rust. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it, and yeah, I'll post the pictures as soon as I get it, and yeah, you guys will see. I can guarantee you, I'm gonna suffer with the echo in the room for sure. So I'm gonna have to deal with some artwork.
Yeah.
And I need to buy a carpet. Maybe I'll buy like a shaggy one or something that eats up, because there's
Well, if
now
you
that's
have
a
a
hard
cat,
concrete.
eventually you'll get a carpet for free. It'll just be all on the ground everywhere.
Not in this apartment, bro. I can't. Like, I already have enough hair for my girlfriend vacuuming up, and I got a freaking cat on top of it.
Your cat will outdo
So,
your girlfriend, I promise you.
oh, I know for sure. Yeah, Flores, I'm gonna put my paintings back up, because the paintings that I actually have are not really paintings, I guess. They're the old promo pictures from the BeoVision 10 when it first came out, which is a nice cluster of semi psychedelic artwork that kind of ties into the BNO. But the nice thing about them is that they're thick enough that I've harvested enough BNO foam pad that comes in spare parts and boards that come from Denmark, and it's one of those. They have a shape of like the egg crate, right, or the egg carton, right, with the little pokies on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I put those behind the paintings, and it really does an amazing job in eating up the echo in the room. But I had it in Calgary and it was okay. But just like when we were talking about the carpet thing, right? Mikey said, just get a carpet, it'll help. And it did. Once I got the carpet, and I had to retune the speakers because it was such a dramatic change. So the acoustics will improve, of course, but it'll take a little bit of treatment. And quite honestly, like if I'm allowed to move there, like at the beginning of or end of September, so I have a couple days overlap, because nobody lives. It's a brand new unlived space. So the logistics are, I'm going from a fully furnished place to a place that has no furniture. So the most important one is at least to fucking pull the mattress, right? So I have somewhere to sleep on, because I'm not gonna be sleeping on BioLab 18 boxes. That's for damn sure.
You can sleep on your 90s boxes.
And sleep in them, for God's sakes.
Put your pallets down.
Fudge. But yeah, that's gonna be. I'll try to document as much as I can. I'm very bad in picture taking. You all know that, man. I don't take pictures of the installs, and the worst one is like I always go in with the notion I'm gonna take a picture before and after, and I sometimes end up with an after, if even that.
Recording while doing that sort of shit, even if it's just pictures, takes so much longer.
I know that's the problem. So, but we'll see. That's a topic for another podcast, and it's a few more podcasts to go before we do that.
Yeah.
And I'll probably do a little bit of a giveaway once we move out of here, out of this. I got a couple of things that we can put into the raffle, and I don't know what kind of a challenge we're gonna come up with. Maybe we'll just have somebody email and draft like we usually did. We haven't done a giveaway for a long time, and I got some stuff that I think some other people might appreciate more than I do, because I have a lot of it. So there we go. Yeah, maybe the wooden acu panels would be cool, but understand, Flores, that is. I'm hoping that I'm not going to stay in that apartment for more than a year, given the paperwork's movement now, because there's been a lot of movement last week with my lawyers in Florida. So we'll see. But that's to be
You can
continued
buy
and
them half
discussed.
size though, right? I have them half size. So
Well, I can buy them and just put them in the storage as well when I move and take them to Florida with me, right?
yeah, but that's what I mean, right? Like you don't need like these ones, right? They're 24 and a half inches by 24 and a half inches. They're not the whole thing.
Yes.
So like you just need to hang them with like 4 screws, or you can use glue. But if it's rented, like 4 screws is easier.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I put the artwork in there, I'm going to be doing it with the 3M Velcros like I did in my old apartment, so there is no damage to the wall, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna, if you put one hole in the wall, you might as well put fucking 30. It doesn't matter. You're gonna paint the whole bloody wall to begin with, anyways.
Yeah.
So the logic behind that is like, if I'm gonna do the paintings, or do I just put the fucking shape up and cover 2x1 meters with tiles, use them as rear channels? I'll need to buy one more extra receiver because I'm not gonna use the BeoLab 11 for what, right? So I'll stuff those into the shape, and then I might put the picture somewhere along the other side of the living room to mitigate that. I'm gonna have to end up with the carpet no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that's something to be discussed once I cross the threshold of my new place and I live there and start setting it up.
Yeah. And by then you'll get your visa. So in that case, thanks everybody. Good luck. Have fun. See you all next week.
Throw in a like.
See you on Discord. I'll spam the link one last time. And
there we go.
Bye.
Bye.